Ipswich Buses, your local bus company serving your football team. Buses run every 10 minutes. Avoid the traffic. Don't get stuck in the delay. Get Ipswich Buses today. A single from only £1.20, a return from only £2. Find out more information at www.ipswichbuses.co.uk. Ipswich Buses, proud to partner with Talking Town. Hello again, my friends, and you are my friends, and welcome to your Wednesday night matchday preview show. That's right, it's Hump Day, Wednesday, and we're here to get you over that hump and ease you ever so closer to the all-important weekend, where another team awaits us, Gillingham, who have just shipped more goals than the Titanic shipped water, but then Town arrive. And we've heard that story before, haven't we, where Town arrive and things don't go to plan, but hopefully Kieran McKenna will follow Paul McKenna's lead and keep the team hypnotised and on the straight and narrow. But there you go. That's the jokes over and done with. I've just been notified on my screen that Matt Phillips is a new YouTube member. Ladies and gentlemen, if Matt Phillips can become a YouTube member, then so can you. So follow that man's lead. Adrian Garrett in the room. Welcome in, Adrian. After Norway's chat, looking forward to tonight's show. Can we have more players? Adrian, we'd absolutely love more players on the platform. We'll cover a bit of Norwood probably tonight, but yeah, let the club know you want Talking Town to get more players, because I really do think it brought a human element to it. Matt Stannard in the room, the Cruncher, still fresh off being battered. He likes his fish cakes as Cruncher. Well, last night everyone had a battered Cruncher and chips. Let us know how you are, Crunch. Mike D, go on Celtic. Adam Blamplay. I thought one was basketball and the other was ice hockey. So how are the Celtics beating the Rangers? Hey, no, Callie. Matt does not have deep pockets. They're just short arms. Sarah Davis. Good evening. I hope everyone's well. Mike the Fisherman. Can I have some? Oh, Mike Seal. Can we get a load of hearts in the chat, please? Emoji hearts in the chat for the Fisherman, because he is not very well, and they will double up. Yes, I was hiding from Norwood. He was like a hurricane. I was getting out of that way, believe me. But can I have a lot of hearts in the chat? A, for the Fisherman, but B, because we received this, and I do mean this. We received this in the post this morning. It is a medal from Suffolk Mind for the 100 miles we did this time last year. We raised nearly £200 for Suffolk Mind. On the back it says, I am helping to make Suffolk the best place in the world for talking and taking care of our mental health. So a huge well done to the Talking Town community. Yes, I'm going to wear the medal for today's show. There it is. Look, beautiful. Looking good on me. Great work, my friends. We smashed it, and it's all important to talk about that mental health. So lots of hearts in the emoji, heart emojis in the chat. Right, bringing our first contributor. I can't remember, apart from a match day ticket, when the last time I saw his beautiful face was. But here he is. Oh, there he is. There he is.
Beautiful face. That's thank God I have a very dark kind of camera filter. Everything behind me looks a bit orange and it makes it a bit darker. I'm definitely a face for a dimmest, which helps.
I was still thinking about my middle, to be fair. I wasn't thinking about what I was saying. I just was thinking about my middle. It's a beautiful thing.
Okay, man. Now I'm just a secondary incendiary.
Absolutely.
There's no problem there.
I was just thinking during that intro, you know, there's a modern sort of thing people are sort of obsessed with when they get medals, aren't they? They're obsessed with like biting them. Is it?
Yeah, but notice you've just bitten it twice. So yeah, interesting.
No, I haven't really bitten it. No, it's wood. It's wood, mate. If I bit it, I'll probably get a splinter. You know what I mean?
Keep it there. Yeah, don't do that.
You don't want a splinter in your tongue. That's for sure. Hey, we are here to deliver town news, views, and opinion. COVID passes, Ben. They've been scrapped. How do you feel about that one?
This is the first game, isn't it? I mean, I think we were until it was scrapped, one of the few football grounds that are really kind of imposing it. But to be honest with you, it wasn't really checked. I mean, we could have walked in arbitrarily, really. I think it's the right thing to do, regardless of what I think your views are on COVID. There is a certain amount of, I think, that getting back to normal, and since this will be with us for years to come, with varying degrees of danger, or however you say it. I think as far as football matches are concerned, where everywhere else has let it go, I think football must follow. And let's face it, yes, it's very tightly packed, but it's on a big open ground. I personally welcome it. But people kind of still have that freedom to wear a mask if they want to. My dad's one of them. He's actually got COVID right now. And he's kind of come. Yeah, it's fine. I mean, I'm kind of say thankful, but of all the variants to get, he got the Omicron one, which has kind of gone upper in the body rather than the lungs.
Give it a couple of more months. We're going to go COVID shopping. Which one do you want?
Well, they're saying this is kind of nature's vaccine, really, that because it's so less severe, it's a lot less dangerous, but it's still a danger. Dad still chooses to wear his mask in the ground. I personally don't, but you still have that freedom to do it. So I think it's the right thing. I do.
My nan's the same. She wears her mask everywhere she goes. She feels a lot safer with it, and I probably am the same, actually, to be honest. But just give you the full lowdown on the news. COVID passes no longer required when entering Portman Road, but fans have still been recommended to take lateral flow tests, which is important, to know.
What is that? Ben looks like you're in a nightclub.
Lee Brown.
This is quite the opposite. This is that kind of really dark orangey filter on the camera. I don't usually look this oompa-loompery, but now I kind of see that like a chill out area in a nightclub. Lots of lights everywhere.
Simon Harris says, Ben, Crunchy was rinsed by Nors. Is tonight a chance to provide him with some counselling? We'll come to that in a minute.
Yeah, we'll come to that.
What would you say to Crunchy before I bring Callie in? After seeing him get his ass.
I think I mean, Nors is that person who divides opinion, and Cruncher has definitely given it. And he gave a little after the show where he kind of put all of those tweets up from the Cruncher. But do you know what? I think there's something massive to be saying that he's willing to come on the show, knowing that you would get a bit of it because Nord is that kind of a character. And I've always, he said, look, I was wrong on some opinions. I've got no problem with that. That's awesome. You come on, you say I was wrong. I've changed my opinion. I think that last night probably changed a lot of other people's opinions on the kind of character he is. That's not to say that you have to agree with all the things that he's done. But I think of the kind of character he is and how he came across. I actually thought it was a really positive interview. So fair play to the Crunch for coming on because he knew he was walking into it.
Absolutely. From the first 5 minutes.
Fair play for me. There's actually a bit of bravery there, which is great.
Yeah, I agree with you. And actually, as you say, opinions. I obviously, as the host, I felt it went really well anyway. But what I actually came away with was a completely different opinion on James the man, as opposed to the one I entered the room with. And it sounds like, of course, you're going to say that you want more of them. I think more of them are needed. I think the football club needs to do more of those because you do get the human stories coming out behind the player. And sometimes we just see a bloke in a newspaper article or a bloke on a website or a bloke in a shirt on a football pitch with 30,000 people screaming, and we don't put it into our minds that they're probably the same as your best mate Jimmy down the road.
I totally agree with that. And look, I've been critical of Norwood. I think a lot of people have. I think you can still not agree with the actions, but you can like the person. And I think there's definitely a delineation there.
We all make mistakes.
Yeah, absolutely.
All of
us.
I
think the way he came across, I think that he was humanised last night. As well as being very kind of funny and engaging. I think that's probably there for everyone to see. But I actually thought it was a really meticulous interview and really interesting about I was particularly interested about how players prepare for a game, where they sleep, what they eat when they get into the training ground. Those are things I always kind of really wonder about. So it's really interesting to kind of hear it from that perspective.
Yeah, I was really interested, but I tell you, there's one person who probably wasn't that interested, to be fair, because he knows all about how they prepare, how they. In fact, when Sam Morsy wakes up, I bet the first person he sees is this one.
Man, I'm gully and techie. You want me, then check me. Just butt me, I'm ready. I need that money in heavy. I'm banging these raps like Pumpy with Shelly. Shell it, daddy, I'm dipping. I said that I'd leave, but I'm back in the kitchen. She pour it, back it, I'm sipping. Feeling away, but she tackling feelings. Man, I'm gully and techie. You want me, then check me. Butt me, I'm ready. I need that money in heavy. Banging these raps like Pumpy with Shelly. Shell it, daddy, I'm dipping. Said that I'd leave, but I'm back in the kitchen. She pour it, back it, I'm sipping. Feeling away, but she tackling feelings. I hit it and stirring, gassed it. She calls it childish, I call it tactics. White
King Cali.
Hail to the king, baby. Hail to the king.
How we doing, lads?
Can you confirm or deny the rumour that when Sam Morsy wakes up, the first face he sees is yours?
I know nothing. Right? I say nothing. If I speak, I'm in trouble. Let's leave it at that meme.
I've got a bit of Sam Morsy on the agenda tonight, so I knew that you were coming on. I knew Ben was on. I knew there'd be seconds out, but looking forward to that. First of all, though, our boy Rakeem, he's gone on loan to Crewe. I want to set some basic stats for Rakeem. What do we expect to see Rakeem do at Crewe, Cali? Goals, appearances, assists. What are we expecting from the big man? Because I'm expecting big things.
So I think, I'm expecting week in, week out football for starters, because otherwise he could have stayed and just trained with our first team.
Absolutely.
If that's what it is. So week in, week out football. I'd like to see. I know I'm reading online and it's like Crewe holding out for screaming out for a holding midfielder. So it'd be interesting to see how he adapts that, because we've seen him. I think the best football we've seen him play is when he's been a bit more advanced, like as an 8 or even a 10. So putting him in a kind of holding position, that would be quite interesting. And yeah, I'd like to see a couple of assists and maybe a goal or two there as well. So I think that would be a quite successful loan spell. He can come back with some real kind of money in the bank and saying, look, this is what I'm about. Obviously, and I hope he helps keep Crewe up and all the rest of it, right? And it'll be quite interesting.
I ain't fussed about keeping him up, Cal. I
think
about that.
no, but I think that's the mentality thing, because it helps you as a player. Also, when you're looking at, we know it's Mark Ashton's dashboard, which loves all the stats and everything. You've got a player there that's associated with survival rather than relegation. Why do a lot of our town fans, kind of rip apart our 2018 squad? Because it's all linked to failure, right?
True.
We got relegated and everything. That's what it is. It's the failures. Whereas that, most of that squad were there the season before, but everyone were just saying they're failures from there. Nah, Crunch, I reckon that'll be all right.
I've just read that as from the guy from Dad's Army. Crewe are doomed. Literally, when it came through, that's the voice I read it in. They're doomed.
I like that.
Brilliant. I don't like that though, Cal. You've not gone nailing the opinion to the mast. I want at least 15 plus games from Rakeem at Crewe.
How many games have they got left? I don't even know how many games.
I don't know. That's why I've said 15 plus. Let's
say there's about 15 to 18 games or whatever, right? So
4 assists and 2 goals.
No,
that's what I want. 4 assists.
I want 15 games, 5 assists, 5 goals.
Ooh,
fucking go big, innit? Go big.
He's our player of the year, Cal, because we've got to go big at home.
He's the man.
Ben, well, as somebody without anything invested in it, obviously I've got the player of the year hanging over me.
To interrupt you, Martin, to be fair, you didn't say what year.
Well, that's it. You see, now you're learning the podcast game there, Cal. All you've got to do is nail an opinion, but never actually put a finite time on it. Ben,
Safety.
Exactly. What do you want from Rakeem at Crewe as a town?
I think he's going to start all the games. I think he's a hell of a player. He's probably the player we leased out that I was really disappointed at, because every time I've actually seen him play, I thought he's been absolutely fantastic. I think they've got one hell of a player. I think they're going to love him in the same way that Simpson was loved. Powerful, forward-thinking. I think he's got a good football brain. I like the work he does off the ball as well, from the little bits I've seen of him. But I also acknowledge that we're trying to do this kind of slimmed-down, streamlined squad. And we have a lot of kind of players that could be in his position. So I think they're going to be ecstatic, and I think they're going to be disappointed when he goes. I don't see as many goals. I see maybe 2 or 3 really good goals, 5 or 6 assists, absolutely, in that team. And I think if he's the player that I think he is, he will be starting every single game of that loan spell, and I think he's going to come back a really good player.
Yeah, I've
got a soft spot for him. I really like him.
He's only 21 as well, isn't he? He's only 21 as well, right?
Yeah, he's a kid. He's so young.
I've been thinking about it since Saturday, right? Since we knew he was off on Saturday. When was it announced? some of us may know it happened on Saturday, but whatever, right? So since we knew he was not in the plans, and I was quite angry to begin with, right? As you had me on the show the other week, and I had my tweet up there saying, send Tyrese back, son, right? Send him back, son, right?
Yeah.
And
Did do that one.
Yeah, because I'm just like, Backinson isn't a better player than Harper, but then when I think about it in terms of development, it's probably a good move, because when Morsy's fit and Evans fit and even Carroll is fit, where does Harper or Backinson get in? They don't.
It's a fair
right
point.
So Backinson is there as a backup, right? Let him be a backup. He's someone else's. Then we're not really developing him, which is fine. And in the meantime, we've got Rakeem there. I was about to say Tyrese. We've got Rakeem there playing week in, week out, developing, because that's what it is. I think a lot of these younger footballers that come through, because we forget they're young, they just break onto the scene really early. It's that confidence. So get them the confidence. Get this last stretch of the season, get a really good stretch, hit the pre-season well in the summer, and then come ready for our championship charge next year, because we'll be in the championship.
Absolutely. Cruncher says Gov will be presenting him with the Crew Player of the Year in May. I'd love that, to be honest with you. I'd love that. Absolutely love that. That'd be great for town, that's for sure.
We can arrange that, I'm sure.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, I hope we can. Moving on ever so slight, we've got Sam Morsy. Obviously, the FA provided written reasons for the ban. Is it now clear? Still silly? No. What are our final thoughts on that one? Just to read you out a little bit of the report, which you can download.
I'm going to go against the grain on this one.
The point 12, point 12 got me a little bit. It says it was not easy to make out what had occurred from the footage provided by ITFC, but it could be seen that Sam Morsy, raised his right arm and made contact with the Accrington player. Point 13. However, from the footage provided by the FA, all three commission members felt they could comfortably say that SM had deliberately shot his opponent in the face with his right hand as they come together. It was, to the minor commission, clear that SM had rapidly jabbed his hand out towards the face of his opponent. Now clear, still silly. What do we think? First of all, Ben, what do you think?
I hate to say it, but it was the exact right decision. He fucking punched the guy. And I know it's a whole. Did it come up too quickly? Did it catch him? If that is an opposition player or one of us, we would be jumping out of our seats onto the pitch. It was a silly mistake. I really like Morsy. He's not quite as. I don't think he's quite as good as what people think he is, but he's still a very good player in our squad, and I think he's a pretty good captain. Yeah, he did wrong. He stuck his hand out. He punched a player. I don't think it wasn't a square bang like this, but you can't go like this as a player's running past you. He was getting banned every minute of the day. I knew it as soon as as soon as that was even the thing. I'm thinking, yeah, okay, there's no jury on this earth that's going to say, oh, it was he accidentally kind of, oops, like this. So that's my view on it. Serve your ban. Don't change who you are, because I like the fact he's a gutsy, he's a rough player. He gets in people's faces. Good dictator of the ball. Right decision for me, even though it's going to hurt us.
My only criticism, I suppose, Ben, would be the fact: was it clear that he rapidly jabbed his hand out? Was it?
I could, if I punch someone in the street, I could use that same thing. Well, Your Honour, I rapidly jabbed him. That wasn't a punch. Come on.
Fair enough. All right.
The report's contradicting, right? So they're contradicting themselves. It's not clear, and now it is clear. There's only one set of footage. The FA ain't sitting there with 5-6 cameras around the Greame. There's one fucking camera there. So it's the one set of footage you've been given, right? So what? Don't try and word this shit. Bottom line is, they put a bullshit report out because they were backed into a corner by a bullshit owner. Right,
views are their own, not because
he's got a bullshit team, and he cried like a little bitch because his team couldn't beat us, and that's all it is. If Andy Holt hadn't cried like the biggest little bitch right after that game, would Sam have even? No one would have made a thing of it.
It can be both; they're not mutually exclusive. I think he done that, and it was bad. I do.
All right,
you can put the views of their own here, because this is views of their own. I'm sure many Towns fans will agree with what I'm about to say. Andy Holt, you're a little bitch. Okay,
right,
and that's what it is.
Right. Mike Fishman, if this happened to Morsy, Kelly will be wanting a ban. If you want a life sentence for the bloke, I thought.
Fucking behead the guy. Behead him.
Fucking hell, all right.
Firing squad.
Do not, under any circumstances, condone that language. The Cruncher 76. He tweeted that Ben. Oh, that doesn't make sense. tweeted that
into my DMs
last week, and Sam, he did tweet that it was a punt, and then Sam apparently did slide into his DMs. Simon Harris, Morsy was guilty, and Harper is guilty of impersonating a set midfield player.
Ooh,
Simon, our relationship started so well. Don't go ruining it now. Harper is the best thing since sliced bread. Right, next point. Prediction league, something that we can maybe agree with here is that it is obviously the Norwich game, but we have got 4 fixtures for you this week. Here they are: Ipswich versus Gillingham, Leighton Orient versus Colchester, Luton versus Cambridge, and Wolves versus Norwich. Talk to me about Driniesta, Callie, against Colchester, and Frank Newball as well now.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, I quite like, I quite like big noobs, get on with him quite well. And I'm quite happy for him. So he hasn't played for Leighton yet. So this will be his first game. I think it'll be a good thing. Either way, what we are guaranteed is every single scorer will be a former Ipswich player, whether it's for Leighton Orient or Colchester.
That's a good shout.
To be fair, for Colchester, anyone could kick a ball in their former Ipswich player. I think that's got all the markings of a 2-2 draw.
A 2-2 draw. Okay. Link for it is now in the chat. Ben, talk to me about Wolves versus Norwich in the FA Cup. We've got to get Norwich out ASAP. We can't let them go too far.
As much as I, of course, absolutely hate Norwich, they have had a recent pretty good upturning form. Does it have to be can it be a draw, or does it have to be a result? What round are they in?
It's the FA, so it's got to be a result because they don't do replays anymore.
Yeah, they're not doing replays.
I would have said a draw. I just because I hate Norwich, I'll say Wolves win it. But if I were to be completely dispassionate, I would say Norwich actually have a pretty good chance of that one.
No chance.
And that hurts. That hurts. No, I think they do.
People will think, like, obviously, you know, my family's in Wolverhampton, right? So I went to know a bit about the Wolves and all the rest of it. But so yeah, a little bit of a soft spot for them. It's made it easier now they're in a different division, right? Because sitting in the home end cheering for Ipswich every season wasn't always that great. But
wasn't
well, no, because I got kicked out, and also like I got kicked out a couple of times because I'm celebrating a goal, and it's like you're not really meant to be doing that if you're here or whatever. And then, but anyway, that's another story for another day. People are looking at it like, okay, they've got rid of Adama Traore, he's a big player, blah blah blah. He's someone that's been very hit and miss, quality player, and I think he will do well at Barcelona. But he's very hit and miss. They don't rely on him as much as they did when they first signed him from Borough or whatever. They've got your Pedro Netos, they've got the Asian guys that have signed as well. They've got some talent coming through as well, some of the younger strikers. I think, you know, Wolves, I forgot the guy's the name now, the manager, but I think they're realistic that this could be, you know, an appearance at Wembley, a final,
and away to Europe.
Yeah, exactly, because they've done Europe already, so it could be a good little path. And your teams like your Wolves, your West Hams, you know, maybe I would have said Everton's, but obviously maybe not this season. But those type of teams are the teams that you'd expect to have a good FA Cup run. Norwich,
called Bruno or something. Is it Bruno?
Bruno Lage.
There you go. We got there together. Look, what a team! What a team!
Yeah.
But I think they'll do well. I think that they will stomp Norwich. And remember, for Dean Smith, it is Dean Smith in charge of Norwich now, isn't it?
It is.
For him, it's about survival in the Premier League.
Yeah.
So I've got to believe that he's not going to go for a fully fit team, or if he does, he's not going to have his first team play the whole 90 minutes because you got, you know, 3 points that you're playing for. At the end of the day, you win this game. If Norwich win this game, what does it actually do for them? Are they realistically going to make an appearance? Only one team in East Anglia will get relegated and then play in Europe. They're not at that level, right?
No,
that's what we do, right? So yeah, fair play award. Got to love it.
Yeah, we handshake our way into Europe.
Yeah, why not?
You know what I mean? Literally, was the nicest guys in getting relegated. But that's our contributors' views on the Prediction League. Get yours via the link. Free entries, takes about 60 seconds as a league format. Might be a spot prize, so keep your eyes and ears open. If not this week, certainly a week coming.
Has Matt Phillips got off 0 yet?
He has. He's got 6 points now. 6 big points.
To be fair, I must confess I haven't been doing them all. So
I know, it's shocking. But that's last week's. But Cheater McCheatson is now being referred to. John Nolan has been obviously paid out. He's had his contract terminated and he's gone to Bristol Rovers in League 2. So that's now 9 from last year's squad playing in the league below. Ben, does it highlight just how far the rebuild is having to come from? The fact that 9 of last year's squad are now in League Two.
I think so. I think we all kind of knew it last year. But having said that, the players we've replaced them with, we're still exactly the same position as we were last year. So I think the jury's out on that one. However, for Nolan, I think it's a good move. And bearing in mind how long that guy's been injured, excuse me, I've got a dry cough this afternoon. It's not COVID. I've tested myself. I've just got a dry cough, so I'm going to be coughing the whole way through this. But for Nolan, I thought he's a really good player. I liked him, but he just wasn't fit enough for long enough. Yeah. Shame, because I liked him. He had a goal in him. I think he's got. Was it? How many goals he scored? Was it 9 or 10 or something stupid like that? He scored a few altogether for us.
He didn't score that many. He didn't score that many.
Certainly, last season he was. He started off the season quite well scoring. I'm sure Ben's close with that.
I think since he's been here, I remember looking at it thinking, no way. I remember all goals, but I was quite surprised. I think I'm really pleased for him because he needs to. I think he's 29. He needs to really rebuild his body, rebuild himself, and to go and actually go straight into a pretty decent team and a good setup at Bristol. Good on him. I won't miss him because there's nothing to miss. He hasn't played a game for a year and a half or whatever. Yeah. So, good for
Ben, you're right. 9 goals.
It was 9 goals. Yeah. So and that's pretty good. And in the team he was playing in, which was total shit, that's not to be sniffed at. And I still think he's got goals in him when he's fit. That the question for Bristol will be the same as the question for us: can we get him on the pitch and keep him there? Bit like a Norwood question. When he plays, he's good. When he's injured, it's a problem, and it tends to be for a long time.
All right, we've got Lee Brown saying your favourite player, Gov. How you feeling? Craig at Portsmouth. More highlights.
Ginger Pirlo, man. I don't think he was given. I don't think it was fair on him, right? And again, this is what I say on top of the show. A lot of our fans associate the relegation season with the likes of him as well, right? This is Paul Hurst signings. These are the replacements. They weren't good enough. Blah blah blah. I actually think even at the beginning of last season, Nolan was scoring for us, and he was playing some good forward football. He loves a little half turn or whatever. He's called the Ginger Pirlo for a reason, man.
I forgot about that.
I am a fan of his, and I'm exactly what Ben's saying now. I agree with what he's saying. Just a shame about his fitness because, he's good. He could have been a tidy midfielder. He's certainly better than Tyrese Backinson.
I agree with that.
Oh, steady on, Tyrese. So he played 3 games? No, John.
That's all I need to know.
No, John, the cruncher. I missed a John Nolan 360. 10 goals in 67 games. Glad he's gone. Crap, says Stuart. I think I'm probably there with you. Felix can't lie. Gillingham scares me a little. Okay, well, we'll get to Gillingham in just a second, Felix, but don't be scared of Gillingham. Never, ever be scared of Gillingham.
Well, this is Ipswich. We're scared of everyone.
Yeah.
No, we only lose the games where they count and they matter. So we'll end up winning the next 2. We'll go to Milton Keynes, and that will be the interesting one.
It's true. The Fisherman, Nolan, a League 2 player at best. Well, he's currently playing in League 2.
No, disagree. I think he could have done something in this league, but again, it's just his fitness. If he'd have been fit, sorry to interrupt, if he'd have been fit in the summer or this window, he would have gone to another League 1 team. It was just his fitness.
I totally agree with that. Agree with that.
And fair play for Bristol for taking a punt on him, and I hope it does well for him.
Is it a permanent contract?
Because
we finished the contract, didn't we?
We released him. Yeah. Ronnie, don't mind Nolan, to be honest. Play some tidy balls when he was fit. John Mike D, no more Nolan pirouette. Adam, John Nolan's gone on tour with his sisters, the Nolan sisters. Well done, Adam. Andy Gray thought Nolan was decent, but obviously interrupted by injury, as Clay was just saying. Bristol Rovers have a good signing there. And graphics geezer, that's so true. We don't sign really important games. And the crunch is, how much did we waste on Nolan and Toto? Too much. Right, Ox. No need to comment there, Kelly. Oxford, they drew last night, which leaves us now 9 points away from 6th position. I feel the question about will we make the playoffs has sort of been done for a while. So forget the playoffs for a second, unless you truly believe we're going to finish inside those playoffs. What's the best position from this point that you feel Town should achieve? If it's the playoffs, that's fair enough. Say the playoffs still, but in all honesty, looking at the league table, what would you say is a realistic league position finish for Town, Callie?
Honestly, you're going to laugh, but I think we're going to end up finishing 4th or 5th.
Oh, okay. What, Callie?
Tell us why. Tell us why. We're currently.
I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
Okay, so We turn up against the shit teams when we need to. I think McKenna has got us playing, and we know we've all been saying the whole season this squad needs a 3-5-2 formation. We're playing that now. My only concern with our team is the goals. So I'm hoping that with Norwood, hopefully Piggott can come in and Bond can, if Bond just stays on side, he scores 10 more goals, right? If he just needs to time his runs. But I think we can absolutely make 4th or 5th. The problem I have, and the only issue I have, is what's the point? Because time and time again, I don't see us beating anyone. We might grind out some good draws, but those teams in the playoff positions, or who will ever have to play in the semi-finals or eventually the final, I can't see us beating them. Like we don't turn up for those games, and whether that's a Marcus Evans Ipswich Town, a game changer 20 Ipswich Town, a Paul Cook Ipswich Town, or a Kieran McKenna Ipswich Town, it's been proven time and time again. We got turned over by Bolton very easily a couple of weeks ago. Should never have happened, right?
True.
I know there's mistakes there. Sheffield Wednesday was at the Sheffield Wednesday game. We were very lucky not to concede more than 3 goals that game, right? Could have been 3-4-0 to be honest, right? We were just very lucky that Mendes Lang didn't have his shooting boots on. So again, we just don't seem to go toe to toe with the big boys there. Maybe it is a bit too much for McKenna at the time, but I've got to believe playoffs, and yet I will. Sorry, I'm just laughing at Simon Harris's fucking comment. Yeah, you're right. No, not making the playoffs, but Ipswich beating the top 6. Can you put his just above safety guy's comment? More chance of Coley hitting the test 100. Indian cricketer, he's underwhelming. Right, he's been a captain, fantastic, very underwhelming.
To finish in 4th or 5th, Cal, we're going to need what 77. We're currently on 41. So tell me,
who
how
playing?
the fuck are we going to make up?
I don't think we'll have.
I mean, Colin's optimistic.
Sell it to me, man. I've got to actually physically turn up to half of these fucking games.
Can we pull up the fixtures? Can we pull up the fixtures?
Mate. Yeah,
Let's
2 seconds. Yeah, 2 seconds. I mean, Colin's sat at home in his dressing gown as the most optimistic Town fan I've ever met, and I think even he's probably shaking his head silly, thinking, "What the fuck is he talking about?" Like, I can't. I mean, I love it. If that comes off, I'll buy you anything you want to have.
If we're 4th or 5th, our form has to be 1st or 2nd from now to the end of the season without a break.
It needs to be walking on water level of miracles.
So let's break that up a little then. Just break that statement up there. Our form, right now, up until we went to the Sheffield game, our form was, I think, we're 2nd in the form table. If I'm correct.
Mm-hmm.
So the loss there. We're playing these bigger teams now. We don't really have many. I think apart from Rotherham, maybe away, we ain't got some of these teams above us now.
So here we go. Right, February, you got Doncaster, MK Dons,
win, draw,
Gillingham,
win.
So win, draw. Then you've got Burton,
win,
Cheltenham,
win,
Morecambe,
draw.
A draw against Morecambe.
Yeah. It's the stadium. It's up north, isn't it? We're going away up north.
Yep. March, you've got Fleetwood, Toto.
Toto's going to score a 90th minute equaliser, isn't he?
You know it.
Lincoln.
I've told him not to celebrate, so let's see what happens. What's the next one? Lincoln.
Celebrate. I mean, it's away, sadly. If it was at home, I expect them to run away going like that, Lincoln.
Win. That's at home.
Portsmouth.
Nah. Home win.
Oxford.
Draw. Okay. Plymouth. At home win.
So we've not yet got beat. Okay, I love this. I mean, Ben, just pause in there. Up till April, we've played what 1, 2, 3, 4.
I don't think we're going to lose many more games.
11 games and ain't lost one yet. What? Put yourself in March Ben's shoes for a minute. Be a time traveler. Just be a time traveler. What would you be thinking at this point?
You'd be like, what was Callie smoking and where can I get some? I'll give you the number.
Must say, I love the optimism. Because for Christ's sake, it's all we actually have. I do also want a bit of whatever you, that'd be quite awesome. One,
David Bowie, Spaceman.
I'll bring some down for you next time. No problem.
Yeah, I think I can't possibly see that happening. When there's not even a sign of that yet, and I agree that we have had, I would say, our version of a new manager bounce, but I just cannot see us hitting a first place form right now to the end, because there's nothing we've seen to justify it. That there's just nothing, and I think I would come along with you for one reason, because I think I like our midfield. Wes Burns for me is the kind of player who can get you promoted. I like our defence, but we're not scoring goals. You've got to be scoring 3 or 4 goals every single game, because it firstly wins you the big games by a good margin, but it also nullifies the games where teams score against you. Look at the teams at the top. They're scoring all the time from the players that need to score. Bond scored 1 in 15. That does not get you promoted. Piggott can barely even make 5 minutes a game. That doesn't get you promoted. Norwood, he's come back. Now he has to stay fit for the rest of the season and bang in 10 goals. I don't think that's quite going to happen. Simpson, completely unknown quantity, although I would like to see him play. We're not doing it on the top edge of the pitch. Now, if we were scoring 3 or 4 goals and McCauley was on 18, 19 goals, I am on that train.
Do you need to score? Sorry, do you need to score 3 or 4 goals? Because let's just think about this now.
For the ones we concede, yes, we do.
Well, since McKenna's come in, am I correct in thinking he's had 2 losses? Right now, that's it, isn't it? Bolton and Sheffield.
Yep.
Let's look at those losses. Both of those, like most of the losses this season, have not been because teams have beaten us in terms of better play. Have been because we've given them the ball. We've made mistakes. Fridge fucking played a great assist for the second goal. He went into prime fucking Messi with the assist or something, right?
Perfectly weighted.
And then the same, and then this again, the goal on the weekend, combination between Fridge, between Thompson, and between Burns, and no one does their job, right? Those are silly mistakes. Do your job.
Are they going to suddenly disappear?
They have.
They have now at the end of the season.
They have been slowly though. There's been passages of play where you're like,
I agree, slowly, but we have a few games left. It needs to have disappeared the last game, and we have no more. 10 games ago, fair enough. There's a slowly disappearing and a higher incline of wins, but we don't have the time left. We're in February now.
I think also McKenna's getting to the, our biggest kind of weakness is if Burns doesn't turn up on the right, no one's on the left. I agree with this. Yeah. So for me, what McKenna needs to be doing is either get that. I don't know what he needs to do. Like give him a hug or KVY or whatever. He knows KVY as a person quite well. Get him back to those first 10 games when he first signed for us. If that's the form we can get KVY in again, we're laughing. Failing that, do you know what you do? You know what you do then? You play Carl Edwards there. You play Carl Edwards in that position. Every game I've seen Carl Edwards play, he has bailed out Matt Penny time and time again defensively. So we know defensively he can do it.
He's a better defender than Penny. That's
you with your walking stick. I'm a better defender than Matt Penny.
Appreciate it. Right, Callie, back to these fixtures. We need 7. Yeah, well, yeah, but you don't.
Listen, I was bad mouthing him all on Saturday. Didn't realise I'm sitting next to his bloody mum and his brother.
No.
So sorry about
that. Jesus Christ. Wow.
Was there time for mate? Yeah, this
we need to do a podcast with Penny's family and get you
Talking
on
Town,
and have a battered.
Talking Town, the platform for the fans, just not for the players.
Just to finish that, let's just finish that on Penny, right? Because that sounds a bit bad. Right. In fairness to him, as a left wing back, he's far suited to that role than a left back. I think that's fair to say. A couple of games he played left wing back under McGreal and McKenna were probably his better games in a Town shirt, right? And apart from even when he scored that goal against, was it Cheltenham away? I think
Ronnie, and now it's Penny's mum.
I like Mike the Fisherman's comment. Our next Talking Town show, Penny and Callie. Love that.
Absolutely, yeah. It can be a little podcast. We could get set it up.
Listen, me and Penny can link up. You name the place, Matty. Where you ready? Whenever you're ready, mate.
The penny drops. What a great thing for this show.
It's a shame. But it's a shame though because we really wanted him to succeed because we've always had great kind of left backs. So I personally was hyped when he was signing because I thought, okay, an attacking fullback. We ain't had one of those since Mingsy or since Creswell. And bear in mind, I think it was more the fact that we've gone from Stephen Ward now to someone that can. Well, Stephen Ward bombed it down the wing, as we know, right?
Yeah, the bronze bomber.
So there was a bit of an upgrade, but I don't know. We'll see.
Cruncher, plenty of penetration off the pitch from there. That's correct. Top shaggers.
I think if a player's missing from a squad game, you can just make an assumption that his missus
I
is
did
pregnant.
do on Saturday, didn't I, Ben? I said pre-game show. I said his
Yeah.
missus is probably giving birth, and I was bang on the money.
Yeah, absolutely right. Yeah.
Right, Cali, we've not lost the game. We have got the month of April left in Cali as well. You've got Cambridge.
I think that's where a loss comes at home. We're going to lose to
Okay.
Cambridge. It's a big game. It'll be a big atmosphere, and we don't do that.
Shrewsbury.
That's away, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, I think we'll win that.
Rotherham away.
No, we've lost that.
Wigan at home.
Win that.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
I think we beat Wigan.
So from a perfect March and April, we're now sort of starting to falter just as the playoffs loom large. Classic Town. This sounds almost.
Well, this is it, isn't it? Right.
Crew
This
at
is
home.
what is
No, Crew
gonna
away.
happen.
Sorry, Crew away.
Crew away. I think we'll be bossing that game. It'll be 1-0. Won't find any chances. Bossing that game. 95th minute. Rakeem Harper. For some reason, we've allowed him to play against us, and he's going to score.
So
Right,
what,
we've
draw?
allowed him to underestimated him, and he's going to score against us. Yeah,
So draw.
draw to Crew away
And
again.
then
Northern
Charlton
away.
at home.
I think, yeah. Part of me says we should be doing them, but then it's the whole. We've
Scott
let
Fraser
Scott
pops up.
go. Yeah. And he has the game of his life or something. Scores a hat trick and absolutely. But let's put that one down as a loss. Let's put it down as a
Right.
loss.
You're falling short of the magical 77 points, I'm afraid. You needed 11 points from April, and you've only picked up 7. So you'd be literally.
Why do I need 77 points? Because you're assuming.
Historically,
and I'm telling you, you're basing it on those teams picking up more points. Everyone's having blips. Sunderland got spanked to Bolton.
3 months worth of blips, Callie. I'd expect
blip
Oxford to pick up a point between now and April.
The whole season's been a blip.
I'm going with those results, and I'm saying we're going to finish 4th or 5th. Right? That's what it is. I can't remember what I put down as the result. You let me know what I put down as the result so I can keep an eye on it.
All right, I've got you on 70.
Weekly check-in.
I've got you on 75 points, which would be squeaky bum time, Ben, in terms of 6th. But you turn a Crew or a Cambridge into a win, and what Callie has just laid out on paper is good. But you're going to tell me now football's not played on paper, and me and Callie we're off with the clouds.
But you forget, me and Kieran McKenna share the same initial.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't make me not like Kieran McKenna.
Unagi, mate. Unagi.
Don't make me. Unagi, love that.
There are combinations I could put out there of things that could happen for me to become a billionaire, but it's not going to happen. Invent something everyone wants, market it correctly, get my first 100 million, turn it into $1 billion, reinvest it into the second. Is it possible? Yeah, I suppose it's possible because otherwise no one would be a billionaire.
You're doing it now,
but
Ben.
it ain't gonna happen, man. It's not, and it's not because I don't want it to. I'd love it to happen this season. We all spent a lot of money and time going up and down town. I'd love to see my team promoted this season, but I've also been watching this for 35 years, almost without a break.
That is the first time you've mentioned watching Town and Money this year, Ben. The first time.
Look, it's an investment. You know, it is. Honestly, I see it as a big part of my investment because the money represents my optimism in, and am I willing to spend it and get value back? And I think just for the thing of coming up to town after all the shit the last 2 years, yes, I have. But
and you saw me.
I'm also very realistic, and this is with my head rather than my heart. We are not getting any higher than 7th. It sounds great to suddenly go do something we haven't done since about 2003, but we've been saying this for the last 12 years, I think. We just have to win that one, and that could be a win, and this could be a win. If we get those 3 wins and we score like 10 goals and he starts scoring, then we could get promoted. Well, that's right. If we win the next 93 games, we could be in the Champions League. Let's just focus on Gillingham and see where it goes.
You're saying 7th. That's the realistic.
Oh, we're not getting any higher than 7th. There's no question.
Okay, that's fine. And Callie's saying the playoffs. Go on, Callie.
So let me just ask you a question. Two questions, Ben. First of all, that whole thing about having a product and doing all that and everything, right?
Yeah.
It's easier than you think. As an example, you see all these influencers and entrepreneurs popping up out of nowhere.
Yeah,
Ben,
you don't see the 100,000 that don't make it, though.
Sorry, Callie.
Ben.
Than you think. How much billions have you got in your bank?
What if we're talking rupees, then 0.
Inflation.
That is
it's still 0, right?
That
But
easy.
Ben, I'm telling you now, Ben, right, with that chest hair, get yourself an OnlyFans, mate. Billion, right there.
Are you kidding
Billion.
me? Right.
Billion.
How much do you think? If
I
I
will-
open
I
up
will
an
subscribe
OnlyFans
now.
page, how much do you think this is going to get per video? What, 5 pence? It'd
I'll
take me
make it
1,000 years to make
rain.
my first grand. Nah,
Make it rain, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
But no,
I'll tell you what.
Serious point I was going to make.
I'll do your thing, Kelly. If we get 4th this season, get
You two
promoted,
make
I
me
will
laugh.
open up an OnlyFans page. Done.
You two make me laugh.
I
Right.
like that.
And
I
you are my
like that.
first subscriber. I will
I
open
will
up an
subscribe.
OnlyFans.
I will
if we
subscribe
get
for
4th
lifetime. For
and we get
lifetime.
promoted.
If we
Before-
get 4th and promoted, but sorry, there was a
Let it be
serious
known.
point to this. There was a serious point, which was
No, there wasn't.
no, there was a serious point, right? I got distracted by the beautiful chest hair. I'm sorry, okay, right? So you supported Ipswich Town for a long time, like we all have, right? You know, as Colin will tell us about the Sir Bobby days. Shit, sorry, drink, right? Did you ever think we'd get taken over by some investors and actually invest in the club? I didn't,
No,
but we
that's
have,
true, that's true.
right? So eventually we have to break the mold. Why can't this be breaking the mold? So I don't know. Let's have a bit of positivity or whatever, and let's just hope it can happen because that's all we can. You know, the players haven't signed to stay in League One. They want to be playing Championship football, so they know what they got to do. We've the other thing that's a bit more encouraging, and again, everyone knows I was a big Cookie fan anyway, but it's the reactiveness. Yeah, it's the reactiveness. So we do have a manager, although I'd argue his subs weren't as well.
Oh, do
he
you
will
mean,
switch it up.
reactive in-game reactiveness? To
Yes,
like
yeah,
shape or-
in-game
okay,
in-game
yeah.
management, right?
Yeah,
Whether it's
in-game
some shape changes. Like when we was at Bolton, we saw him kind of switch it from a 3-5-2 back to a 4-2-3-1. Looked a bit more effective. On the weekend, same sort of thing. He changed the formation, changed the personnel a bit. You know, I was a bit, to be honest, he'd made the subs a bit too late for my liking. But there were, you know, some kind of positives there that as a coach, he is a coach.
Andy Gray. One Matt Penny per chest here for Ben's only fans.
Well,
Right.
Cruncher's comment. I think he's undervaluing me there.
Jesus Christ. This is taking a really bad turn. Whoa.
You forgot a couple of zeros, mate. You forgot a couple of zeros.
We regather our thoughts. I need those after you two. Right, we do a thing on the away day guide, which is player connections. I've got 2 players that have played for Gillingham and that have played for Ipswich Town. Here is the little intro for it. Join us every Thursday, 7:30, me and Amy for away day guide. Tomorrow is, of course, Doncaster, but we are looking at this Saturday's game against Gillingham. So I've got 2 players. Player A or player B? I will let you go first, Ben. I will give you 3 questions. You try and guess which player it is. Do you want player A or player B?
B.
Okay. Played 100 games and scored 6 goals for Ipswich. Played 52 games and scored 6 goals for Gillingham. These are actually facts, not questions. My mistake. Still only 34, playing for Ebbsfleet. Signed for 1.5 million.
Signed for us for 1.5 million.
Signed for 1.5. Yep. Who is this player? Let us know in the comments if you know who it is. 100 games for Town, 6 goals according to Wikipedia. 52 games and 6 goals for Gillingham.
I think I know that.
It might come to you. We've got Holy from Stannard. We've got Priskin from Mike the Fishman. O'Keefe from Mike D.
Tamas.
Was it during sorry.
5, 4, 3. Do you know? 2. Yeah, at time, I'm afraid, Ben. Callie, do you know who it is?
I think, but I didn't realize I played for Gillingham. I'm thinking 1.5 million. I'm thinking Roy Keane era. I'm thinking Lee Martin.
Lee Martin. Lee Martin. Great player. Yeah,
do you know what stuck out? It was the 1.5 million because I remember we spent some money right on this ex-Man United player that was just garbage.
Oh, how naive we were.
Right, player A played 24 times, scoring 8 goals for Town, Kelly.
I know who this is.
But
anyway.
he did play 67 times for Gillingham, scoring 25 goals, and has been player manager at Brentford.
Oh shit!
Who is the player? I'll read those 3 again. Played 24 times for Town, scoring 8 goals. 7 times, scoring 24 goals for Gillingham,
Had to be a lone
and he's
striker.
been player manager at Brentford.
Got to be a lone
I
striker.
ain't got a Scooby.
Hang
Because in
on,
my head,
no.
I know there's a player there playing for him now who used to play for Ipswich briefly, but it's not him clearly.
Do we know?
I don't know. I'm gonna pick one of the questions. I'm gonna go with Fisherman's comment. Let's go. No, it's not Alan Lee. Okay, let's go.
No.
Alan Lee. Fuck it.
No, he was a lone striker.
I can't think who was.
Someone like DJ Campbell, but not DJ Campbell.
David Norris.
No,
someone
No, he
Ben's
played
close.
very-
Nicky Forster.
Correct.
Forster.
Oh yeah.
Big up Matt
Great
Stanner.
player for us.
I
Only
just
played
read
24
Matt-
times for us. Wow,
So
because it was Forster
they've
and
got-
Sam Parkin, wasn't it? Yeah.
That's right. Yeah,
Mm.
that's
And they've
right.
got Mustafa Carry on there now, haven't they?
They have. They have. And just because I've
Great
been
player.
kindly sent this book by Stephen End, Football for Brains, some of the proceeds goes towards a charity fighting the dementia, I believe. I've got a question on this player. He's been mentioned this week via James Norwood. It is question number 422. It's about Kieran Dyer. Against which country did Dyer make his international debut in September 1999?
Was it Turkey?
I remember what Alan.
No, it wasn't Turkey actually.
I remember
It wasn't Turkey.
Oh god,
There you go. What a-
Ukraine.
Nope, not
No,
Ukraine.
it weren't
No.
Ukraine. Turkey, I remember he got clattered by the goalkeeper.
Remember what Alan Shearer said after the match? He said he's a real player for the future. I remember the after-match interview, funnily enough. Ooh,
Lee says Poland. That's not correct. But Mike D comes in with it. Luxembourg. That is correct.
Luxembourg.
This is on sale on eBay. £3, £2 postage. Get involved. All as I say,
Price.
I don't know what the split is, but some proceeds I do know go towards the dementia charity, I believe. Stephen, thank you for the book and sending it to me. Right, on to Gillingham. 1 to 11s. This is interesting this week. And the guys and girls at home will find this interesting because the two teams I've received are very different. So we'll start with Callie's. He's gone with a 3-5-2, same formation as Ben, but slightly different personnel. Callie, talk to me about the midfield, please. You've got top shagger Tom Carroll returning alongside Giselle Mazzani. What's going on in that midfield? Why those two?
Well, Morsy's obviously not available. I don't think Evans has been training too much this week or whatever, so I don't expect him to. He may be on the bench, but I don't expect him to start. So for me, they're the best two midfielders we've got. You know, at the moment
not Backinson. Not Backinson. You're not going to give Tyreek Backinson another chance in the centre midfield.
Oh, I thought we were saying joke. I thought we were having jokes. Sorry, I thought it's a joke time. Right, sorry.
I fell for it. Actually, who's there? I was thinking, where's his going?
Send Tyreek Baxon. All right, send him Baxon.
Right, fair enough. No,
but yeah, that's my thinking on the midfield. I think those two are the best available midfielders. I know Elmi's got a bit of critics on the weekend. I thought certainly second half he was good. Some of the earlier games we've seen, one of them that stands out was Sheffield Wednesday at home. He's a bit of a little terrier. He's biting in midfield. And Carroll, I thought the last game he played with Morsy, Accrington at home, I thought he played really well with Sam. He had a bit of rustiness to him, so I'm hoping that rustiness has been shaken off now. He can play to the whistle, then we'll be all right.
Okay,
so,
all right.
yeah.
Let us know in the chat. We make a Callie's team out of 10. Would you play it? On to Ben's. Ben, your team is 3-5-2. You've gone for interesting one. You've got the most interesting thing really is Simpson coming in against James up front alongside.
And look, I'll justify it. Bond scored 1 in 15, and Piggott played about 40 minutes cumulatively the whole season. Simpson, he was loved down at Swindon for a reason. I think him and Norwood together, Simpson's like a half shithouse and Norwood's a full shithouse. And in League One, that's a great combination. Norwood's been on a fine vein of form and he's fit, so we play him. Simpson has also been on a good vein of form, so we play him. Chaplin behind him, I know that could be interchangeable. But for me, I think that Selina, as far as I can feel for him now, is a super sub. Or at least he's a good, really good plan B option, but he's not a starter for me. Elmiz, I agree with Callie, really grew into that game after a terrible first half. And I was really disappointed that he actually got taken off. Aluko I love because he's tenacious in his work ethic and he plays to the final whistle. Burns, do I need to justify that? No, I don't. We'll leave that there. Thompson, he's a bit of a misnomer. I'm not quite sure of Thompson, but I like the fact that his off-the-ball work is really, really good. And that will be, I think, good cover for Edmondson. Wolfenden and Donatian, again, I think they picked themselves and the goalkeeper picks themselves. But the two up top, look, we're not scoring goals at the moment. And that's the only probably combo we haven't seen. So I say, if you want a miracle run, then you have to do something different right now. And that could be what it is.
Okay. I don't think Simpson will play. I think that
I agree. I don't think he'll play either.
I think he's in a
issue.
Yeah, I think he's done something there to piss him off with the contract, and they're punishing him to a point. He's been he's getting a slap on the wrist. He's in a naughty corner.
But
that's the vibes I get.
Yeah, but in football, those things can change. What I would do differently here in the chat, let me know your rating for Ben's team and for Callie's team. Put K and then a rating out of 10, and then put B and a rating out of 10. We'll see who you feel has the better lineup this week. But to be fair,
if you just put KB in a rating out of 10, I've won. Okay. My initials right there.
I would play Walton. Then Ashton, I agree with those back that triangle 4. Burns at right back, yes. Thompson has to play again to give him another chance. I would bring Backinson in instead of Aluko into that team there, playing alongside Elmiz. I think both of those need another game to showcase. Elmiz isn't as bad as what people think he is. I think he's a young player, and young players often get the criticism the most, particularly when we get beat, because your trust level as a fan is not there, and they haven't got the body of work to back it up to say they can do it. Aluko, for me, I would play Backinson in that position. Chaplin, yes. Norwood, Cruncher's best mate, absolutely. And I'd probably play Joe Piggott, actually, alongside James Norwood.
Well, do you know what? Look, vote for my formation. You'll get 50% off your first OnlyFans video. How about
that? Did you know what? Forget that. I'm making a thing called Only Nans where we're going to bake cakes. Okay, I'm going to bake cakes. Yeah, with some old dears, right? So vote for mine. You get a cake delivered to you.
You could get Mary Berry to front it, couldn't you?
Job done. There you go.
You did say making that billion.
Becoming a billionaire. This could be your route, Callie.
You did say it was easy, didn't you? There you go.
Oh, there you go. $1 billion rupees, mate, on the way up.
Call me from your yacht and say fuck you.
Simon says,
$1 billion rupees. I'll call you from a pushcar.
Simon, I knew me and you could get on, Simon. I love you. Andy Gray, probably not getting Greenwood on. Oh, for fuck's sake, Andy.
Did you not read that before you put it on the screen?
Do I look like I read?
Cruncher is scraping the barrel this evening. What is?
Do I look like I read it before I put it on the screen? I read it as I put it on the screen.
Sorry, but Matt Stannard, he's got a better idea for my business idea now. We're going with that one. Fucking brilliant. Only Nans. I've just seen Mike D's comment as well.
Oh, I love this.
Score predictions, please, for Saturday, Ben.
2-1 to Town, I think. 2-1 to Town.
2-1 to Town. Who's the goal scorers?
I'd love to say Simpson for a brace, just to say it, but I think Norwood and I think Chaplin. I think against Norwood and Chaplin. There you go.
Norwood and Chaplin. Yep. And I hope when Norwood scores, he runs directly to the Crunchers part of the stadium and just takes off a T-shirt that says "Why always me?"
Yeah, and that's why he's going to score. Oh, please, Norwood, if you're watching this,
Jackson 9. That's great.
To be fair, when he said that part, I was like, yeah, I definitely was a Jackson fan more than you, mate. So I was like, shit.
I still am. Love a bit of Caden Jackson. I think it's much better than people give him credit.
But notice that Caden didn't get either of our. I mean, for me, wouldn't even be on the subs bench. I'm just not a fan. However, we both didn't pick him because I just don't think he's. I think he'll be gone by the summer.
I think he's been a victim, like the way Freddie Sears was at this club in terms of he's come as a striker, and he's now just in as a left wing, right winger because of his pace. That's it. But
That's a fair
you
point.
know,
That's a fair point. Actually, I'll give you that.
it's
Yeah.
when he started our first League One season, him and Norwood were brilliant up front together. You know, so the fact that the way he scored on that sandpit at Tranmere for me is just like, yeah, you did a great job. So, but yeah, I'm not been as impressed with Norwood the last game. I thought when he come on, he was a bit quiet. He wasn't his normal shithouse stuff. The interview yesterday was brilliant, by the way. I've never seen Crunch small into a chair as much before. That was fucking brilliant. But fair play, Crunch took it all in stride, mate. So he gives it out on social media and he takes it. So
I couldn't
Cruncher,
take it, that's for sure. So I'm glad, you know.
Cruncher, fair play on you, lad. Right, but
I couldn't.
maybe you'll think next time you're at a restaurant and taking pictures.
But maybe that's what he needs. Like you say, he's been quiet the last couple of weeks.
He's the fire in his belly.
His main motivation is for shutting people up. So maybe get back on that social media.
I was at the Barrow game. Was it Barrow or the Oldham game where he had the picture?
Yeah,
the picture. He whispered into James Norwood's ear and says, "You're fucking shit. Get in the bin." And Norwood says, "You what?" So that's it. He's riled him up, Cruncher. You know, he riled up James Norwood. James Norwood scored, and we're reaping the benefits. But I don't know. I think goal scorers tomorrow. I think actually, although I put Elmis and Carroll in there, I think we'll end up seeing Backinson play instead, unfortunately. And I reckon just because I've been bad mouthing him, or not bad mouthing him, but downplaying his ability all week, he'll end up scoring a goal, won't he? So I think him. I'm hoping Macaulay gets a goal because he really needs a goal.
Yeah, he does. He needs two goals. He needs two.
What's your score, Cal?
I'm going 3-1. I think we'll concede. You know, Fridge is just, you know, bound to just go wandering up front at some point and lose the ball and leave us exposed as per the last few games. We even Fridge aside, we do look a bit weak sometimes at the back. So we do always look like we can concede a goal. But I think, I'm going to go Bon. I'm going to go triple B. Bon, Backinson, Burns.
Are we at home on Saturday?
Yeah.
Oh,
nice
shit,
to see you're clued up here, Ben.
I had no idea. I've got to rearrange some things. I'm going to have to rearrange some things.
I actually can't make it down this weekend, but yeah, so I'll be watching it from Canada.
So Backinson's going to score for you, despite you thinking he's not very good.
No, that's the team I'd play if I was manager. Right. Because Kieran McKenna, like my team, what you see there, the only difference that will be from that team and what comes out on Saturday at 3:00 is the left back will be Thompson instead of Carl Edwards, and the centre midfield will be Elmis and Carroll. Carroll and Backinson, right? I wouldn't play, them two. That's who I'd play in my team, but this is who Kieran McKenna / the dashboard will play. But I think just because I put that not bad at all, because I've been chatting his name like that in the last week or so, the universe is just a funny thing, isn't it?
Well, fingers crossed. I'm not quite sure if I'm going to pronounce this right, but Kel says our central. If I've got that wrong, I do apologise. Our central midfield players are not scoring enough. That's a problem, which I think he's bang on the money.
I think that's fair. I think that's the goal is coming from the wings.
I think Lee Evans is the only one that scored goals in our midfield. I could be wrong.
And the Luco, technically, but there's only one game, wasn't it? Really.
Well, I see him as when I see him midfield. Sorry, I'm talking about our two in the.
Okay, yeah.
Like anyone that's been in there all season, anyone that's been in that two, behind the 4 or behind the number 10 or whatever, I think it's only been Lee Evans that scored. I don't think anyone else has scored at all as a midfielder. And I don't include attacking midfielders, so I'm not including Chaplin or what's his face, or good old Sonny Aluko. Yes, and Selena. I wouldn't include Selena as well. It's just no. I think Lee Evans, and that was the last goal he scored. Was that 6-0 in the 6-0, wasn't it? The perfect hat trick, actually.
As we close, Cruncher asks Callie, "Are you going to Donny?"
Yeah, I just need to sort my tickets out, and we'll be up there.
All right, job done. We're through another episode. James Norwood still on the platform to watch. You've got January's review with me and the Cruncher to watch on the platform. And now you've gone through the match review. We're back Friday at 8:30. Any final closing thoughts ahead of the Gillingham game? The shipping goals for fun, Ben. Surely this is the chance for the underperforming strikers, such as Bond, to get themselves up and running again.
Yeah, I would love to see Bond score. If I could take one thing away from the weekend, it would be to see Bond score a brace, not just a fluky goal. Just get a brace and really get on there. Because if we're going to do what Callie wants us to do, which is not outside the realms of the impossible, just the very improbable, then Bond, if he starts doing now what he did when he came, fair enough. I'm stepping on the train, but he's got to do that from this weekend onwards, because it's your strikers ultimately who get you promoted. And also, Milktray OnlyFans, $14.99 a month, £5 for private videos.
There you go. Or you can come to this platform for $4.99 a month. Makes it about 20p a show. YouTube members, Ko-Fi, all in the link, all in the
Makes
chat.
sense.
It does make perfect sense. But until Friday, he is the king. Does that make you the court jester?
No,
Apparently so.
no,
I am.
What? Did the court jesters twerk? Because like that's all he does on his OnlyFans. He just twerking for town.
We're on a journey, looking back on the things that we've taken for granted, but feels like we're learning to be better without